When I was a kid, occasionally me and my brothers and sister would go to my grandma's house for a sleepover, and I always thought my grandma's house was so scary. It was dark, and everything there was old, and going back toward the bedrooms, there was this huge, huge picture of this huge guardian angel. You know, the picture of the guardian angel looking over the kids as they're crossing that bridge. Well, I thought the angel was scary. I said, why is that angel scaring those kids? But I learned later how beautiful the painting really was. But I remember laying there at my grandma's house as I was falling asleep. My eyes were closed and thinking, I am just a speck in this great universe that God created. I'm just like a speck. Does he even know who I am? You know, if he's out there, am I ever going to know who he is? And we can fall into that with our faith sometimes because we believe God is creator, God the Father as creator. But if we just think that we're just some little speck in the universe, where's the relationship? And it brings me to think of all these people that we encounter. When we say that we're Christian, when we say that we believe in God, what is the common answer that all of us get? Well, I believe that there's a higher power. We hear that all the time. Just like laying in my bed with the eyes closed. Well, I believe that there's a higher power. But what does this all mean? And at that moment, I was scared. I was fearful. What does this mean for me? Is he ever going to know who I am amidst all this creation? But all these people that say, well, I believe in a higher power, they may live their life in a very fearful type of way too. It's a great, great mystery. But what's the point of all of this? Today we celebrate the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. As we as Christians believe something so profound, this great mystery, that we're not just left out there by some creator. Yes, all of the Old Testament talks about God. We read from the book of Exodus today, the burning bush, Moses approaching that great fear of God. But he didn't leave us abandoned. He actually sent his only begotten Son to us. And we get to know the person of Jesus Christ throughout the New Testament and the Scriptures, the Gospels. And he teaches us how to love, how to live. We read of his healing stories, of course, but he is a human person. We know he wept. We know he experienced pain. We know he was crucified and nailed to a tree. We know that he was a pain to his parents sometimes because he got lost and they went to go search for him relentlessly until they found him in the temple. He was 100% human. So us in our struggles and our joys and our pains and our everything in our lives, we can look to the person of Jesus Christ, God made man, and relate. But he tells us, I will not leave you orphaned. I am sending you the advocate, which we celebrated last weekend at Pentecost. He sent us the advocate that comes to us by the nature of our very baptism through the Holy Spirit, who comes to us as the gifts of bread and wine are consecrated in the body and blood of Christ, who comes to us in the sacrament of reconciliation, the Holy Spirit, that relationship builder to reconcile all of us to Christ. But we also have our relationships with one another. And any relationship that we have on earth between mother and son, or husband and wife, or even total strangers, as we build relationship, that's the working of the Holy Spirit, drawing us closer to the reality of what love is, what life is, and drawing us ever closer to him. So we have all of these connections, and it's all about building relationship. And God did not just create us and leave us out there in some universe as some little speck. But he loved us so much that he sent his Son to be our example, to be our guide, but to give us that Holy Spirit to be that wisdom of that total and ultimate connection, who does not leave us just out there, but is with us internally every step of the way. So our challenge as Christians is to mimic that love that God has for us by that completely of outpouring of service and life of us to each other. It's a great challenge, but that's Trinitarian living. That's complete outpouring of love. Because we're not meant to be abandoned either. We have been called to serve one another. We haven't been just called to have a family and just watch over them from afar. We also haven't just been called to let's just be an example to others. No, we're called to get down and dirty and be with them in their lives with a complete outpouring in the love of the Holy Spirit. So it's not just one of the three, it's all three. And we're called to mimic the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, and worship and adore him and praise him today as we celebrate the Holy Trinity. Three distinct persons, but one God that we worship and that we adore.